afternoon. Sorry, this was supposed to be on the other channel. And by the time I hit start, I realized I selected our main channel for this afternoon show, which should have been on. Sorry, I'm picking all of the dirt out of my nails. I just got done doing yard work. Yay. Love that stuff. Love that stuff. So, my nails are all icky and whatever, but I decided to come in here and do a live from the show that I was going to set up. And I was actually setting it up to go over some updates on the, well-known crime stories that are going on and hitting the, the news waves. But again, that's kind of what we do on the other channel. Long story short, here we are. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. If you guys have not already, please hit up Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. If you haven't been over there in a while, go over there. Make sure your notifications have been set to all so you never miss a show on the other channel. Now, as you guys saw, there is this thumbnail I've got up for this show. I just realized that we've had yet another pew-pewing on a university campus. Now, this one isn't a mass violence, issue or offense. It is more isolated than that. But the stories that I'm hearing are crazy. I heard that the two people that are involved in this, which was a murder unaliving, right? Murder, suicide type of thing. And it was with like really good students, ones that made like what is it called, whatever. Anyways, we'll read about it here in just a second. And then I've got like 4 other stories we're going to go over. 3 that you probably, well, all of them you've heard about, but we'll go over and touch each of those. So we're going to do the 5 crime stories, not just this, pew-pewing on the University of Wisconsin-Platteville campus. But we are going to go through that here in just a second. Let me get to that spot of our list. Why can't I get to that spot of our list? Okay, so on May 19th, which was just a few days ago, a tragic event unfolded in the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, where a 22-year-old Kelsie Martin shot and unalived by 22-year-old Hallie Helms, who then died by self-unaliving. This recent event has disrupted the campus with examinations canceled. Some people were taking exams when this was all unfolding on campus. Counseling services mobilized. It's impacted the university community, and questions about mental health make it a notable, though heartbreaking, a story. And let me just get down here to my breakdown of it. So on May 19th, the tragic event unfolded. We just talked about it at the Wilgus Hall. This is a on-campus housing, and this is at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, which is in Madison, Wisconsin, involving 2 students, Kelsie Martin, 22, Hallie Helms, 22. Preliminary autopsy results confirmed Martin died by pew-pew wound, while Helms died from self-inflicted pew-pew wounds, indicating a murder and self-unaliving. Now, recent developments. As of today, May 21st, 2025, Platteville police responded to a disturbance, determining it was an isolated incident with no ongoing threats. Shelter in place was cleared just about 5 p.m. on Monday, and a press conference at 7 p.m. provided few details. Final examination and assessment were canceled through the end of the week, with supportive services like Mantra Care Hub and emotional support lines were mobilized. The recent tragedy has disrupted campus, as you guys can imagine, a lot of young, impressionable minds raising questions about mental health among students and campus safety measures. The incident's impact on the university community and its timing during exam season amplifies its importance. Could it have been somebody that had a mental break over the exam? I don't know. The recent tragic nature and campus impact ensures significant local and national coverage, with outlets like WSAW reporting details, making it a top crime story. So I wanted you guys to be able to hear this little snippet on this campus unaliving, pew-pewing, if you will, and then we're going to get on to Diddy updates, Weinstein updates, and more information about the updates on the escapees out of Louisiana. So without further ado, let me get that on up there. We'll hear a little bit more about this.
On a joint statement from the UW-Platteville Police and Department of Criminal Investigation. University officials say it will include preliminary investigative details. Late last night, the Chancellor's office shared a little more information. Specifically, 2 students were dead. They are 22-year-old Kelsie Martin of Beloit and 22-year-old Hallie Helms of Baraboo. During a news conference last night, campus leaders and police didn't share any relevant information. That left people upset, especially students.
There's a lot of rumors that are going around, so there's a lot of open-ended questions with a lot of things, and I came here to hopefully get some actual, not necessarily closure, but some actual news about it.
Campus officials say there will be no news conference on campus today about the investigation. Again, we're still waiting on a joint statement from campus police and the Department of Criminal Investigation.
And this is a little bit different, which is surprising that they're not going to be releasing any information because, quite frankly, in all fairness, they kind of know what happened. They know who the parties are in this situation. They've already notified, most likely notified, if their names are in the paper, then they've notified next of kin. So I don't understand why they're being so close to the chest. It's not like we have a whodunit and, we're playing a game of cat and mouse. Sorry, I'm getting slow because I wanted to pull this other one up. But we're going to have a little bit of a...
Jewelry starts right here with Mary Hussar.
Every day I think of my father. He gave me the love and the passion for jewelry. We designed and manufactured as a team for many, many years. And today I continue
not letting me get it any
to
bigger than that.
manufacture all of our pieces. Every piece brings with it quality, value, but most importantly, it brings with us family tradition.
Timeless style in the family tradition. Hussar's House of Fine Diamonds, West Bend, Wisconsin.
Okay, here we go.
How does it feel that this happened in your dorm?
It was like almost unreal to that extent.
And if I hadn't been taking an exam, I don't know, I probably would have been there. So it's definitely a little bit of a shock.
A shocking start to the final week of school at UW-Platteville. 2 students who graduated just days ago with honors found dead inside a residence hall. Investigators call this an isolated incident between the 22-year-olds.
They were honor roll students, both of them, and graduated finally out into the real world. What in the world could have possibly happened between these ladies that would cause this? And it's just insane. And, a lot of our kids, they're under a lot of pressure at these universities. We all know that. But our life in general is pressure, right? We have to have them prepared for the real world.
Marian McCarr was the only TV reporter from Southeast Wisconsin who traveled to Platteville. She talked with Alicia and Brady, who both live inside that residence hall and are wondering what happens next.
A sense of unease still hangs over the campus at UW-Platteville.
I'm feeling a bit numb, honestly, taking some time to process.
News of 2 students dying inside a campus building is hard enough to hear on its own. Knowing it took place inside your own residence hall, an even harder pill to swallow for students like Alicia and Brady.
Yesterday was a lot. This all happened while I was taking an exam.
They escorted us out of there, and I basically was just kind of shaken up, a little nervous. I went to a buddy's house, and then I kind of stayed there for a while just to kind of soothe the nerves a little bit.
Campus officials calling this tragedy an isolated incident between the two who lost their lives, 22-year-old students Kelsie Martin and Hallie Helms. Eywitzia and Brady identifying Kelsie Martin as their building's lead resident advisor.
I had a few interactions with Kelsie, the RA. And so like, it's very, yeah, it's really shocking.
She was always awesome. Whenever we were down in the lounge, just kind of talking to the RA that was on call, she'd come out and talk to us too, make sure that we were all good. And she was just a great friend to be around.
Police say there's no continued threat to anyone on campus, but Wilgus Hall remaining off limits on Tuesday, as investigators say their work is still ongoing. Many living in the building unsure of when they'll be able to go back and get their belongings ahead of summer break.
I'm trying to figure it out right now, but I'm hoping to get home today.
The school announcing all finals this week are canceled as a result of what happened Monday, offering 24/7 counseling services for students who may be affected.
I know like a lot of.
So I would assume that a lot of students are affected by this, because being an RA is, you know, that resident administrator person that's in their hall, that's, you know, kind of helps them get situated and stuff like that. So, you know, that's the university. It's a sad state of affairs that we're in this day and age with all of our young people. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame. I wish our children were better prepared for the real world. And let's face it, the real world isn't kind. I mean, we deal with the real world every single day, and we see how nasty and horrible and deplorable it can be. And I wish that they would have our children battled ready when they're out and preparing to go to college, you know. But in all reality, it's life lessons. That's what gets us prepared for life. Life is what gets us prepared for life. You know what I'm saying? So let me get over here. We have some updates. Many of you guys know Sean Diddy Combs is on trial right now, and quite frankly, he's looking at a life sentence. This is no joke. This is not something that his money can really buy him out of if he's convicted. And he's a well-known music mogul, is currently on trial for serious charges like ST, racketeering. The trial ongoing as of today, May 21st, and has been dramatic testimony, including Homeland Security agents and witnesses like Cassie Ventura's mother, detailing allegations of abuse, Cassie herself, and another gentleman called the Punisher. He was on the stand as well. We're not going to get into too much of him because he's a S worker and was hired at least a dozen times by Diddy Combs. So we had that. We had Cassie's mom. The significance, and Combs's twin daughters, from what I heard, ended up walking out of court when they started showing some of the videos that he had. So this is really, and the next one as well is going to be kind of like a hashtag Me Too movement type of story. And we will get into reading more about this story, but would like to give you guys some updates before we get into the article I've got pulled up related to it. So Sean Diddy Combs is a prominent music mogul, is currently on trial in New York for 5 criminal counts, including 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of ST by force, fraud or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in S working type of behaviors. He pleaded not guilty and denying all allegations. However, the trial has been explosive, if you will. Explosive because many of us don't understand that particular lifestyle. We don't know the rich and famous. We don't know the glamour. We don't know the Hollywood lifestyle or palette. We know it's immoral, but we didn't know to the extent of immorality. And we're also hearing that Diddy may actually be kind of a political, I don't even know what to call him. He's not an activist or an advocate. He's like an enforcer, like a like part of a gang, and he enforces. So I think a lot of this stuff he was doing was drawing people in so he can blackmail them. That is my understanding of this whole orchestration and what they're trying to lay out for the jury, because they need the RICO. And it sounds like they were having these freak offs where people came and did some unsavory things, whatever the case may be. And he was recording these people without their knowledge. That is not something, when you have a lot of money and you're doing these types of things, when you have when you're a prominent person, let's just throw this out there. When you're a prominent person and you have a wife and children and you work for an executive, some big corporation, and you make several $1 million a year, okay? And there's images of you in whips and chains and leather with a guy, and somebody needs some political campaign contributions. Ring, ring. Hey, we need to raise some funds. You remember that party we had back at my mansion in Miami? Wink, wink. All of a sudden, money is going here, money is going there. So I really do think that there's more of an organization here than what meets the eye, because I'm hearing he was basically a handler for some of, getting some dirt on people, So where are we here? Okay, so recent developments. As of today, the trial has seen testimony, as I said, Homeland Security investigator Special Agent Gerard Gannon, who led searches of Combs' Miami properties, finding items like 25 bottles of baby oil, a 45 caliber handgun, and substances. Cassie Ventura's mother testified about Combs directing Ventura to hire. Mother testified about Combs directing Ventura to hire male S-workers for these freak-offs, long and substance-fueled orgies. I don't know if I'm going to get hit for that on YouTube, but we'll throw it out there and see what happens. Forensic pathologist Don Hughes also testified on trauma and abuse, highlighting Combs' alleged control over victims. Rapper Kid Cudi, is it Kid Cudi's testimony? I think I'm saying this right. I'm not into the hip hop world, as you guys can imagine. Originally scheduled for today, has been postponed till tomorrow. This case is a high-profile example of celebrity justice with significant media coverage due to Combs' fame and alleged ties to the Me Too movement. It raises questions about power dynamics in the entertainment industry and the legal system's ability to handle such cases. The trial's ongoing nature, with daily updates and celebrity involvement, ensures it remains a top story, with live blogs and podcasts like Dateline's nightly coverage amplifying interest in this case. And let's face it, it's P. Diddy, okay? It is somebody that many of us were raised around, listened to, and for the better part of it seemed to be invincible. But many of us had no earthly idea that this kind of life was going on. Well, I mean, maybe some people did. I certainly didn't. Okay, this was eye-opening for me. I knew that Hollywood, I seen so many people rejected from Hollywood and their lives were utterly destroyed. And I already knew consciously that it was a cesspool of immorality and abuse. I mean, it's hard not to understand that, it's hard not to reasonably see that, right? And you see your favorite actors. Like for me, it was George Clooney. I love George Clooney. I don't like George Clooney anymore. I think he's a disgusting, from the things that I have uncovered, it just, people disgust me. Tom Hanks was another one that I absolutely loved. Totally will never watch another movie Tom Hanks is in. The list is getting longer. That's why I don't go to movies anymore. I don't go to movies anymore because they don't speak to me. They don't speak to me. I think Hollywood, I think pretty soon we're already starting to get the singers on social media that are starting to really make the way. We're going to be cutting out Hollywood and all these bigwigs. Over time, they're going to be eliminated. Okay. They're not going to be, right now they act like it's this, this elite thing where you've got to go get like a publicist to introduce you to the producers and all this other stuff. You really can't pitch anything without this person and that person. People are now doing the stuff themselves. They're going out and making their own documentaries, making their own videos. They're creating their own music and singing on social media, getting millions of views and not having to subject themselves to the terror and the immorality of Hollywood and New York. They are able to create what they are meant to create without all the politics associated with it. And they can work hard and build an audience all by themselves, completely eliminating Hollywood and New York execs. And pretty soon we're going to get some of the best motion screen pictures, I truly believe, right here on these social media platforms. You may have to subscribe to them, but hey, it'll be worth it, right? It would be worth it. So we have the update on Sean Diddy Combs. We know Cassie. We if you've been watching this, there are a hell of a lot of bruises on this lady, hell of a lot of evidence of this abuse. And you have to remember, just like Justin Bieber, which I don't even want to get into his story because I think his story probably has to deal with grooming and everything, and so does hers. Because I truly believe Sean got into these people's lives very young, just like Usher. Why Usher's family signed over Diddy to be his guardian is beyond me. Why anybody would do that. I don't care how much you want your children to make it. You need to keep guardianship. You are the only force between them and God knows what else. And let's face it, a lot of these people that are getting to where you want to go, many of them are pretty messed up. So I wouldn't trust anybody with my child. Not even somebody that has made it. Because they're the worst kind, in my opinion, in some respects. I don't want to paint a broad brush because I know a lot of wealthy people that would never. Would never. So, but this is the appetite of some. And I don't know who started this appetite. But clearly, there's a lot of these cliques going on. And I don't think Diddy is the only one. And I don't think Diddy is the only one in the hip-hop scene. But I also don't think this is exclusive to the hip-hop scene either. I think other people in other positions, in high-power positions, have done the same exact stuff as Diddy Combs has done. I truly believe that. I truly believe that there's a lot of different things like this. And I truly believe that Epstein, I think he also had a lot of information on people, much like Diddy did. I think he just went up the food chain a little too high, and he became a liability, and people needed to shut him up. Do I believe he unalived himself in that cell? I I don't know. I can't imagine a man like that looking around in a cell and realizing that's going to be the rest of his life and wanting to live it. So there is that as well. Now we're going to go over to another disgusting you-know-what. And this is Harvey Weinstein. Many of you guys may or may not know that there is a retrial. And Harvey Weinstein, former film producer and a key figure in the hashtag Me Too movement, being retired in New York for charges, being retried in New York for charges including R-ing Jessica Mann in 2013 and forcing oral S and two other women in 2006. His 2020 conviction was overturned, leading to this retrial, which, in all fairness, a lot of these Me Too movement type of trials have had to be retried. Why? Because people weren't following the law when trying these cases. They were going off emotion. And the law is not emotional. And when you do things out of emotion instead of logically or under the law, you create this opportunity for the person to have a second bite at the apple, like Harvey Weinstein. So in the recent developments, key witness Jessica Mann pointed at Weinstein during testimony, leaving court in sobs, prompting a defense mistrial request, which was denied by Judge Curtis Farber. Mann described a consensual but volatile relationship, alleging R if she refused Weinstein. Other accusers like Miriam Haley have also testified, with the defense questioning their credibility. The trial has seen tense moments, with the prosecution complaining about defense tactics, which is, usual, normal and customary, in my opinion. The retrial is a critical moment for the Me Too movement. If you guys remember, Bill Cosby was also arrested during this time, also went to trial during this time, and his trial was retried and he got off. Testing the legal system response to SA allegations against powerful figures. It has significant implications for Hollywood and survivor advocacies, with historical context from Weinstein's 2017 fall from grace. The emotional testimony and high stakes ensure continued media attention, with outlets like AP News providing detailed coverage, making it a top story for its cultural and legal impact. So again, retrial. There we go. Get them up on the walls. There you go. So some of the victims right there at the top, some of the victims of Weinstein. Many of you guys know who Weinstein is. I think he's a pig. I've thought he was a pig. I didn't even know who he was until this whole Me Too movement happened, right? And all of a sudden, you're hearing about this exec, and when you look at him, it's like, holy crap, this guy. I mean, to me, the man is he ain't my cup of tea. Okay, to me, he's fugly, and I mean that fugly as you know what, AF. I'm sorry. There ain't no way. I don't care if I worked my entire career to get there, and somebody that looks like that pulls out his you know what for me to you know what, he better run, because I'm telling you, you got a pair of scissors, you got that letter opener. That's the first thing I'm touching. It ain't gonna be you, honey. It ain't gonna be you. And I say this while I still have dirt on me for mowing the yard. And still with my dirty ass, still don't want you. Still don't want you. Oh, good gracious. Good gracious. That man is disgusting. I mean, he's disgusting, in my opinion, to look at. Now, was he a heartthrob back in the day? I don't know. I didn't know who the man was until I found out all these girls, and these are gorgeous women. It's like, where the hell's your damn backbone, ladies? But they wanted their career. And so the only way that they thought they were going to get to their career is getting rug burns on their knees. Where's the self-respect? That's what they took away from everyone in Hollywood and in New York. They took away their self-respect. That's what they steal from these people. That's what they steal from all of these people. And these people want to give it up for $1. Ain't no damn way. Ain't no damn way. If I make $1 million, if I become a millionaire, I become a millionaire. If I don't, I don't. But I can tell you one thing I'm not doing is getting rug burns on my knees to get myself $1 million. All right? I might have a shitty house. I might have a shitty car. I might have a shitty life. But you know what? I earned it. And I earned it the right way. And I don't have to feel ashamed of having it. Every person that engaged, and you guys want to say something, but you know what? And this is the way I feel about it. And I know the Me Too, hashtag Me Too is probably going to jump down my crap, and that's okay. I can handle it. But where's the self-respecting women, and why is it's not like this man held a gun to their head. He did, however, hold their career in his hands. And that's what they're saying was the weapon used to create this SA event. And that I can get on board with. But at the end of the day, my question would always be, was it worth it? I mean, these people, a lot of these people had their own names or were garnering their own names. Why didn't anybody ever speak out or speak up? You know, I'm an R victim, but I never kept it quiet. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to victim shame, but there has to be some responsibility with some of these gals. No? I mean, I think if my boss said, hey, I mean, not to make light of it, but I have to think that if my boss said, hey, baby, I'll make you a manager if you come over here and sit on my lap, I'd be like, get bent. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if that management position comes with $100,000 price tag a year, I don't know. And in all fairness, in reality, I don't know if that would be all on him. But again, I didn't watch the trials. I don't know what the factual information is on this. It seems to me like there has to be a little more than him just dangling, you know, a job over their head. I mean, it's coercion nonetheless. Without a doubt, it's coercion. But I just don't understand how coercion actually got the engagement. Somebody, I don't know, somebody coerced me. I'm screaming from the rooftops. Like, if you think you got something on me and you want to dangle it over my head, I'm going to be on the next show telling all about my business if you think you got that kind of power over me. You know, that's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a butthead. Maybe that's my problem. I'm just a butthead. All right, guys. So we were covering, and we have covered the case of the 10 escapees from the Orleans Justice Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, this I know is an older article. It still says 5 are remaining at large. I have some great news for everybody here. The great news is we only have 3 more to go collect. 3 out of the 10. So now 7 of the escapees, 7 full escapees have been rounded up, sent back to jail, and have oodles and oodles of additional charges and oodles of additional years that each and every one of them will end up serving. Now, the bad part is a maintenance worker said he turned off the water in that particular unit that they ended up escaping out of. And he said he did it under coercion, that they threatened him with his life. But the problem is they're not in control of him when he leaves or clocks out. Why didn't he go and tell his bosses what was going on? He had every opportunity to tell somebody that he was being threatened with his life and his family was being threatened with their life from these inmates in the local jail, but he chose not to. So I don't believe his story. I think that the maintenance guy was in on it. I think they found who was helping the gang of misfits and felons. And the good news is we don't have 5 at large. We have 3 at large. And at this rate, I'm hoping by the end of the week, we'll have the rest of the 3 back where they belong. But again, this should have never happened. Never happened. And God, I'm praying to God nobody has been injured by these people and nobody has lost their life, whether we know about it or not, because of these inmates. And if they did, those people that helped these people, they have blood on their hands, along with these escapees. These escapees were the worst of the worst. Violent crimes, some that had already been convicted twice of murder. Murder! Out next to your grandchildren and your daughters and your sons. That's some scary stuff right there. That's some scary stuff. And you know what it comes down to? It comes down to, again, poor management, failed policies, failing to do the necessary repairs. And once again, all of this is in New Orleans. Now remember, the terrorist attack on January 1st of this year, again, New Orleans, Louisiana, guess what that was from? They didn't have the money or the time to fix the stoppers that come up out of the ground. New Orleans has corruption. Some people are mismanaging the crap out of their money. They're paying their stuff too high. They need somebody that has financial experience to keep them above board, because right now you got failing everything to secure the residents is failing in the state of Louisiana right now, specifically New Orleans. And if New Orleans is this poorly managed, then I have to think that there's a lot of other Louisiana counties that are also poorly managed. So anyways, guys, like I said, those 5 stories were going to be, well, there are 4 stories. The other story was an update on Lily and Jack, but we've been talking about Lily and Jack all week. We just had a live on Lily and Jack just a little bit ago. So I'm not going to reiterate or rehatch the Lily and Jack stuff. If you guys don't know, we have a playlist for Lily and Jack's story and the stuff that we find. We are now starting to look at maps and mapping. We're looking for waterways. If you guys would like to help or pinpoint some areas, make sure that you give me the location, not just the screenshot, so I can pin them on the map. I'm working on a timeline right now, so if you guys have any timeline information related to Lily and Jack or the parents, when they moved into the house, this, that, and the other, please, please, please consider sending that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And what else? So we're looking at mapping stuff. Oh, yes. And any interviews you see the parents in, any interviews whatsoever, send those my way to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you see any family members, friends that are giving interviews to local media. I don't care if they're in other language either. Send them to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Thank you guys for the afternoon show. We'll be back later tonight. I probably won't be back here at 6 o'clock tonight because it's going to screw it up because it's already 4 o'clock and it's just an algorithm thing and a notification thing that I have to be cognizant of. So our evening show will be a little later, and that's exactly why this show goes on the other channel, so it doesn't screw up my morning and my evening show. But it's my fault because I needed to mow the yard. So the yard's mowed. Yay. So now we just got a little bit more stuff to do, and we'll be good to go. So we're trying to get everything back on schedule, but I hit a wrong button. So don't forget to hit up Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories because we will be over there tomorrow afternoon for our breaking news daily updates. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And if there's any type of show, not that I'll pick up every single one of them, but if you guys have a story or a case that sparks your curiosity, it may also spark mine, send me those cases over. Send them over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. And any case that we cover on this channel, if you ever get any information, please send that over also to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Do you guys get the theme here? If you guys got any information, where do you send it? Say it with me. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. 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 All right, guys, I love you. God bless you. We'll see you later tonight. Rock it out with your coffee beans out, and you be you. God bless you. See you soon. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.